Guruji. Namaste to Guruji and a very warm welcome to Guru Rupi Sat Sangat. It's very beautifully said, the divine light is always inside every human, presenting itself to the senses and to the comprehension, but we humans reject it. So here today we have with us Guruji's most pyari beti to bestow upon us the divine light, few of its rays. Now it's up to us how we imbibe it. Just a request, close your eyes, put your headphones. You can be on a walk during this time. Hear the recordings because this is divine blessings straight from Maharaj. So without wasting any time further ado, with folded hands and bowed head, welcoming Anita Auntie. Jai Guruji Auntie.
Jai Guruji. And thank you for having me here once again after quite a long interval.
Yes.
So it's a pleasure and a blessing. Thank you. So without further ado, I will start reading. So, beloved Guruji, let no man in the world live in delusion. Without a guru, none can cross over to the other shore, says Guru Nanak Ji. Let us be the medium, Guruji, of your expression to inspire those in darkness and to inject joy into those who long to enrich the journey of their lives by seeking your sacred love. Let us be the instrument of your purpose by paving the way of faith and surrender for others to follow. We, the torchbearers, have bowed before your feet, sat in your divine aura to be entrenched in your eternal love. You taught us to love and trust again, and unveiled the illusory pleasures that are both transient and often self-destructive. You placed a mirror before us to show us our true reflection. You polished and scrubbed us of our karmic filth and made us worthy of your love. Let us always do that which makes you proud of us. So in other words, let us be what you want us to be. So I think शब्द भी है जहाँ कहते हैं कि मैं वो हो जाऊं जो तेरी मर्जी है. So once we learn, it's a learning to surrender, then we learn to live by his hukam, and to live by his the teachings and to maintain the integrity and the purity of his teachings. Let us remain ever true to you by not erring or going astray. Loosen the shackles of our desires and tighten your own loving grip on us. There's somebody who wants to reply or wants a reply from me for something, some question. Shibby, could you look into it, please? Because it's distracting my reading. So I don't know what the question is. But if we can have the question,
I will do the needful.
Yeah, thank you. You are the ever-blooming flower, and we the bees that come to you for your divine nectar. Let us remain into your fold and at your lotus feet. Bestow on us your grace and compassion and prepare us for our onward journey. We offer you our humble satsangs and experiences of truth, written in words that cannot possibly capture your infinite grace. They are, nevertheless, shared purely in the spirit of inspiring and kindling cast iron faith in others to help them eradicate all the darkness from their lives to emerge into your eternal light. Jai Guruji. So now I will just read the acknowledgements, or I don't need to actually. These are just thanking people who are near and dear to me, and who also made this book possible for me to write. It was many moons ago now. Um, I don't even recall what year, but yes, it was published in 2019 yet again, but it was written before that, much before that. So, Jai Guruji, of course, I'll read the foreword. The spirituality of wonder knows the world is charged with grace, that while sin and war, disease and death are terribly real, God's loving presence and power in our midst are even more real. In today's very challenging times that we're all living in, I personally believe that we have now walked into what Guruji used to say back then, Gaur Kalyug aa raha hai, ye Gaur Kalyug shuru ho gaya hai. If we look around us and within us, there is a turmoil. So it feels like the world is crumbling, but he's holding us tight. He's holding us with his ever gracious and ever loving grip. He has it on all of us. We may feel distant from us, but he is there for each one of us. Again, there's a lot of hellos coming in. Can you please avoid chatting as of now so that we can maybe continue a conversation later? A wonder at the most basic level is something that astounds us, inspires us, and takes our breath away. Wonders in the field of spirituality are testimonies of the power of faith. Guruji used to say, Chamatkar nu namaskar hunda. So, of course, we all look for those wonders, and that increases and strengthens our faith and are a clear evidence of the presence of divine forces in the world. And wonders that create faith are synonymous with miracles. Guruji's temple is full of wonders. Its divine pulse can be felt in your silence, in my silence, and through the connection the devotee makes with it, a connection that helps the individual to experience further miracles. In fact, its unique and exceptional attributes are validated by those who came before us. Their experiences, more often than not, drawing us deeper into the realm of wonder. It is a peep into a subject so vast and uncontainable that a few man-made words can never quite capture its essence and spirit. Words always fall short to sing his eulogy, to praise his grace. It's very hard. So this is my humble attempt at expressing my gratitude and also to express the meher that he has showered upon me and many Sangat who have testimonies in this book. The supreme architect and artist, Guruji himself, erected this wonderful structure, but it is the sacred onus of the devotee to surround oneself with prayers as well as the divine vibration of the temple, to protect oneself from the negative elements seen and unseen. With Guruji's grace, I, with the help of other devotees, have endeavored to bring some of these sublime experiences to our readers in the spirit of sharing and inspiring. It is also important to know that even though I may have been typing the words, it is his will, his words, his doing. This book is about him, by him, our beloved Guruji. So, prologue. As your faith is strengthened, you will find that there is no longer the need to have a sense of control, that things will flow as they will, and that you will flow with them to your great delight and benefit. We all feel that way once we really strengthen and work on our faith. The temple beckons us with its cool, caressing breeze, embracing us with its unconditional love. By merely being in his space, its magnetic charm and chaste environment, our mind and body are purified. The magnificent entrance with its rich marble pillars summons a seeker to its inner splendor. The opal, intricately carved doors welcome us into his kingdom where his energy pervades, in and out. We bow to his gaddi, that is gilded and carved magnificently and carefully, putting any royal throne to shame. It symbolizes his untold power and preeminence, and it is where we offer our humble and often inane prayers. Guruji, could you? Guruji, would you? Guruji, please, this and that. And thank you ever so much. Oh, and don't forget, I want it all by such and such time. Much appreciated, Guruji. Thank you. Your ignorant, don't know a toss child. His seat at the Bade Mandir, too, exudes his fragrance in the same manner as the air of the temple. An awe-inspiring shivling, sacred symbol representing Lord Shiva, sits majestically and meaningfully and purposefully on the roof. Fully blossomed flowers bedeck the path, meandering around the rear of the temple, where swing and meditation cove sit comfortably for devotees like us to prostrate before them. It is so magical and so comforting and so real in an unreal world. Once we regain our breath from enjoying the awe-inspiring structure of the temple, we absorb the beliefs and values that it upholds. So the samosas served in Bade Mandir not only tickle our taste buds, but the experience of savoring it as prashad acts as medicine for the physical, mental, and emotional ailments that accompany us to the temple. The tea that is served also includes a delicious sweetness that is both tantalizing and curative, beyond logic, beyond reasoning, but it is nevertheless Guruji's miracle of curing each one of us with food, with his aura, and with sitting at the mandir. Collectively, these all heal us on a very deep level. What better method of healing can anyone ask for? Yahan pe dawai aur ghar mein mithai, said Guruji. What is medicinal here is a mere sweetmeat at home. Every time a devotee endeavored to sneak some prashad into their bags to take some home to eat later or to share with other members of the family, Guruji used to reiterate, "Ette dawai, ghar mein mithai." Then there is langar prashad, food from community kitchen, from Thursday to Sunday in the evenings. This mouth-watering langar, also with its unique medicinal value, is a lovely combination of rich spices and herbs in delectable vegetables, served with the well-rounded chapatis, on which Om, the sacred symbol, has often manifested to prove to Sangat, not that we need any proof of Guruji's presence in our lives, because he drives our lives. At least I am convinced again and again, repeatedly, that he drives our lives. So what proof do we need? After silently and reverently eating to savor each flavor, along with other devotees, we feel neither heavy nor weighed down. In fact, in my case, there is always appetite for more. The hunger is insatiable and the thirst unquenchable. The more we travel on this path, the more we want to go. With the passage of time, noticeable shifts take place in our lives. तभी गुरुजी कहते थे, आया करो, मन्नो मंगो नहीं, बस सिर्फ आया करो. आते आते हमारी वाइब्रेशन बदल जाती है, हम बदल जाते हैं, हमारी जो थॉट की वाइब्रेशन होती है वो भी बदल जाती है. तो आया करो, आंदे आंदे समझ आती है कि रब की है. What is a priority at one time no longer holds any value as we keep coming to Guruji. Give you a small example. Initially, we may want a Louis Vuitton bag. And then as we keep coming to Guruji, just giving you a very small, insignificant example. But आते आते हमें समझ आती है कि गुरुजी हम क्या मांग रहे हैं. बहुत छोटी मांग होती है हमारी और गुरुजी की मेहर बहुत बड़ी होती है. Through regular visits to the temple, our priorities change, and Guruji steers us in his direction and away from the transient joys of the world. He takes us from the unreal to the real. He blesses us, his devotees, in every way when we start visiting the temple for meditating and not mediating, eating the langar as prashad and not consuming it as a meal. Guruji हमारा भाव देखते हैं. And connecting with him through his principles, through his very pure teachings and practical teachings. We all arrive with our core issues, and provided we are transparent about our human frailties, Guruji lends us the strength to calmly accept our karmas, the concept of action or deed that sets in the motion of cause and effect, while he takes over to cleanse it, to completely cleanse us of our karmic filth that we have accumulated, not just in this lifetime, but over many, many incarnations and lifetimes. So what a blessing to simply have him in our lives. Guruji is the greatest gift that we can have. So क्या मांगना है? जब गुरु ही पा लिया, तो मांग भी हमारी बंद हो जाती है, knowing that Guruji is there and he's driving our lives and he's taking care of our smallest to the most significant problems that each one of us are bound to have, because we are human and we are going through transient, or nothing is permanent. This too shall pass. Whatever we are going through, we know that this too shall pass. We know that it's temporary. We know Guruji has it. He's sorting it out. Kabhi hame dikhta nahi hai. His blessings are sometimes gupt. His blessings are invisible. With the right time, space, and sequence, he reveals to us that he's there. And he's the one who is sorting out our issues. Blessings are often unseen. Hence, we may become disheartened when circumstances appear to remain the same. Know that Guruji is there for each one of us without exception. No one is special. No one is more, no one is less. In the eyes of God, we are all equal. He first cleanses our contaminated souls. We reap the benefits of that process, either here or hereafter. But we never go unnoticed, and our prayers never go unheeded. Just believe and then take a step further and surrender, as that is the greatest offering to your master. Surrender kar lo, Guruji used to say. Surrender karo aur phir dekho nazare. Trust is a prerequisite to any operation. But somewhere in the fraudulent and fake ways of the world, we all learn to mistrust and become territorial and self-centered. We disbelieve and doubt the integrity of the other at first glance. Our suspecting eyes and mind keep us away from the simplicity that Guruji and his temple that can nurture in us. Here in his presence, we trust and love at first sight. We give without the thought of reward. And most importantly, through our faith in a wider context, we learn to eradicate the fear that the world instills in us. The outside world that is so fragmented is no longer ominous to us as faith becomes a center of our chosen society. And that is what keeps us together and strengthens us. The one key element to satsang, seva, and simran is humility that connects us and makes us one with all of humanity. To know that it is all Guruji's will and that he chooses our role for us that will be in sync with our temperament and innate character. Apni मैं दे दे Anita और फिर देख असली नजारे. Give me your ego, Anita, and then see the real wonder, Guruji would say. By remaining connected to the practice and philosophy of Guruji, we retrace his footsteps, ensuring we never stray again. He lends us his protection at all times. Guruji, for me, restored my faith in God and in love and in all that he represents, which is truth, divinity, and beauty. Beauty of the heart. There are many of us who voice our experiences and others who feel them, but who do not express them in words. But they express them in actions by doing the seva that he has allotted people. Not everyone is being chosen to share their satsangs or to make langar prashad or to do seva in bade mandir or chote mandir, wherever the satsangs are. He chooses according to our abilities. He knows. So therefore, whatever seva he's given us, we must do it with utmost love, devotion, and dedication and commitment, because it is for us, our benefit. Because हमारे कर्म करते हैं, जितनी हम सेवा करते हैं, जो गुरु जी ने दी हुई है खुद ही. There is a lot of strength in his words, and there is a lot of strength in the seva that he allots us. Instead, their actions, which are purified over the time, speak for themselves. We all celebrate life and dance to the divine tune as we collectively sing his mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai, Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. This makes our heart beat and keeps our pulse racing. As I began writing this book, I had absolutely no idea where it was going and who was going to share their satsangs. The few that have been added and the many that have not all have one thing in common, our love for our Guruji, which is the most powerful prayer. Through the blessings we gained, we learned to share, inspire, instigate, and instill faith in those who want to believe, and reaffirmed it in those who already do. Most importantly, the satsangs have restored our faith in God and mankind and all the good they represent. We talk our walk of faith to others so they too may follow him. Guruji used to say when he was there in the physical, बड़ा हमारा टाइम आ रहा है संगत जोड़ो. संगत जोड़ना भी बहुत बड़ी सेवा होती है, because we are bringing people onto the path of God, so of divinity. So it is absolutely imperative कि जितनी संगत हम जोड़ें उतना जगत कल्याण होगा. गुरुजी कहंदे मैं आया इस वास्ते तुहाडे वास्ते जगत कल्याण करन वास्ते. So it is up to us to speak about Guruji, to sing his eulogy, and to connect as many people as we can. Sarvada bhala kare Guruji, sabka bhala kare. May he bless everyone indiscriminately. But the connection is ours. It's very individual. There are no mediators. There are no one to tell you how to connect to Guruji. Ye aapka connection hai. And he listens to your voice. So be silent and hear his voice, his response to you equally. So faith renders us the might to do right. With his mercy and grace, we come out of the shadows to his light. May he pave the way, allowing us to follow his footsteps, for us never to stray. May his love fill us to the core, for us to share with all, and to be at peace forevermore. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivji Sada Sahaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Guruji Sada Sahaya. So finally, we arrive at chapter 1. So again, welcome everyone, and thank you for logging in. Gratitude, chapter 1. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. That is the essence of gratitude. Our perspective shifts enormously. Each of us, no matter how blessed we may be, simply need to be reminded of ever so often and revisit the time when we were not as blessed. We all learn to be in gratitude in hindsight when we realize, oh, Guruji ne ye bhi hamara theek kar diya, wo bhi theek kar diya. So it is always in hindsight that we realize how blessed we truly are. As my eyes feasted on the menu in the plush, in-place restaurant situated in the high-end mall in Basantunj, Delhi, I observed the pencil-thin women walking across to the buffet. They were mindlessly heaping food on their plates, returning to their table of 10 or 20 other fat-free women, and then laughing so loud that it resonated all around, making every head turn. Of course, they had much to laugh about. Oops. Excuse me. Of course, they had much to laugh about with their tiny waists and huge designer bags. I thought. This quickly triggered the desire to have a fat-free meal that may assist me also in dropping a few inches like them. The hard decision-making moment of what to order from the extensive menu arrived with the waiter glancing over me. Contrary to what I had decided, I hurriedly ordered for some comfort food instead. So much for my mind over plateau and positive shrinking. During that split second, however, I practically brooded over every aspect of my life, from my midlife crisis to my midriff crisis, my inner eyes traveling down from my facial lines to my waistline, to questioning why I had no dates, no time, and where my life was headed to. Gosh, if ever there was anyone with an attitude of ingratitude, it was most definitely yours truly. It is clear that there are moments when my self-esteem jumps out the window and my confidence walks out the door. But by allowing to be consumed by this attitude of ingratitude, many side effects grip me. One of them is most definitely lack of faith. On the arrival of my dish, that would far from reduce my stretched waistline or offer the promise of a glowing complexion, I glanced up to see a familiar face. The lady before my eyes seemed to have frozen near the buffet counter. After putting her plate down, she waved at me most excitedly. I saw the awe and wonder in her gaze as she played dumb shrouds with me from the other side of the restaurant. Since I couldn't catch on, I hurriedly walked towards her, only to be complimented by her. Oh my God, she said, this is unbelievable. Your skin is glowing and you look stunning. What on earth happened? She exclaimed. I smiled and I just managed to squeeze in a word. Guruji happened. She placed her hand on my head and said, God bless you. Always be happy. Unbelievable is your face. On returning to my chair to join my friends, from whom I had abruptly walked away, one of my friends, Anju, asked who the lady was. I responded with some self-satisfaction that she was someone who, few decades ago, gazing at my afflicted skin, had impulsively commented on a social gathering, hope your daughters are okay and don't suffer from the same problem as you. I hope they are more better looking than you. Ouch. As if my skin was not sensitive enough. The comments had placed another painful layer on my already troubled skin, bruising my morale further. I am sure she didn't mean it in the way it sounded, I justified, when one of my friends stated, with the grace of your guru, it has cleared. So let's just be thankful for that. Let us ignore, and we must all ignore the harsh and insensitive comments of people. When they hurt us, they're actually hurting themselves. So when my skin and asthma were in focus, the rest of my issues had paled into insignificance. But now that they are fine, my mind had started focusing on other things, like the waistline. Anita, introspect and reflect and all that you have accomplished since coming to your guru. And by the way, this book, as I said, was written more than 10 years ago, easily more than 10 years ago. So this happened a long time ago when I have documented this. So Anita, introspect and reflect on all that you have accomplished since coming to your guru. My friend reminded me, you are looking younger than you did 10 years ago. Your girls have gone to the universities of their choice. Oh my God, it was more than 10 years ago. My daughters now left universities 12 years ago. You're living your life on your terms and you're talented and well-traveled. Above all, you are alive. Most importantly, Anita, with your grave health issues, you would have ended up in the grave. You have a wealth of blessings that are invaluable. You know, we are all the same, another chipped in. We are enriched in incalculable ways, but we are not ready to give even a pound of gratitude or an ounce of acknowledgement to the one who is responsible for the changes in our lives. Your all-merciful Guruji turned his gaze towards you when the world turned away theirs. We broke into laughter, listening to her elaborate. We broke into laughter, listening to our human frailties and discussing our human frailties. We want one blessing after another. And then, when something is not in line with either our desires or our expectations, we blame our guru, our God, our friend, our neighbor, our neighbor's dog, the traffic, the weather, the present or former mother-in-law, our ex-husband or the current one, our shrink, our lawyer, the government, or whatever else. We just need someone to play the blame game with. There were 8 of us. Though we all ate without counting our calories, the rest of the lunch certainly shifted focus to counting our blessings instead. So therefore, when we keep coming to Guruji, our perspective shifts, our opinions change, and we may have so many difficulties and challenges today in our lives, in our everyday lives, but he's so kind that he shifts our perspective from scarcity to abundance. So there's always much to be grateful for. When we start making our gratitude list, we realize we have nothing to complain about. And our health, trust me when I say this, our health is our greatest wealth, which most of us take for granted. So if we have our health, we have everything. Jaan hai to jahan hai. So therefore, every morning we must wake up and thank God for the teeth we have, for the bones that are strong, for the hair on our heads, and to be able to walk our talk of faith, true faith, and to be an inspiration to others as much as we can, because people need it. Trust me when I say, Guruji used to say, Ke Nanak dukhiya sab sansar. This is our harsh reality today, that people are suffering at some level or another. Just pay them a compliment. Make them feel good. Say something kind. Be kind to every kind. Be compassionate. Be loving. And be generous. Keep an open heart and an open mind. And when we do that, there is a shift in people's perspective about themselves and about their lives. The realization dawned on me too back then that if it weren't for my Guruji's blessings, then this lady wouldn't have complimented me. Therefore, never got a chance to redeem a bad karma. That's Guruji for you. His blessings are often internal and unquantifiable, and sometimes go unnoticed. In this lifetime, he has leveled out so much, especially with my health and my relationships, even with people I was merely acquainted with. Situations that were frightening to me previously are no longer like touching lightning. He has given me the confidence to live with my chin up. Each one of us needs to be reminded whenever the chips are down to roll our shoulders back and lift our chin up and smile, and to march on as a warrior does, because we have Guruji. I am not a huge fan of lists, but that evening I was filled with so much joy that instead of staring at life and imagining it to be half empty, I wrote a gratitude list. And once again, I felt contented and cheerful. A minor shift can bring about major differences. The past, in many respects, enabled me to appreciate my present, and I began to view my life with a positively confident approach. Cheers, I said, beautiful friends of mine. I am just about to share my vows with you. On holding a large slice of pizza in one hand that was oozing calorie-laden cheese, I began. I take you, my beloved food, to be my lifelong companion, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and health, to love and cherish till obesity do us part. This time, the focus of the restaurant turned to us as everyone at our table laughed thunderously. A good laugh is also therapy. I gazed intently at all my girlfriends one by one, while I savored the pizza and relished the perfect afternoon, just what the doctor ordered. I understood how fortunate I was to have and to hold from this day onwards these loyal friends, and most importantly, Guruji at the center of my existence till death did us part. We smiled, we giggled, and then we all laughed again to celebrate life. The glow of happiness settling on our faces and gratitude permeating our beings, entering every cell of our bodies. One small incident triggered a plethora of gratitude for my Guruji and awakened us to the meaning of life when perceived with the right attitude. The reason to be appreciative turned to revelations of the blessings we all enjoyed, enabling us to feel deep gratitude. a deep sense of joy in my heart that is practically constant today. Of course, there are times when life weighs us down. So it is not always that we are smiling, we are frowning too, and there are difficult moments in life, but He maneuvers us back to where He wants us to be. If everything is temporary, then we must remember that even life is temporary. So why hold our burdens of sorrow in a permanent spirit? Let us all know that Guruji is with us all the time, every moment, but we must remember him. We must remember to love him, and we must converse with him in private. He responds to us. Trust me when I say this, that he responds to us, but we need to just believe. When you believe, you will receive. So keep believing, keep receiving, and keep enjoying his grace. Guruji used to say, "Todi main kolo vaddi, meri meher." तो मैं छोड़ दूं और मेहर ले लूं. So Jai Guruji, I think we will keep it, fairly contained, if that's okay, so that there is enough time to absorb everything, which is more important than, quality rather than quantity, if that's okay. So tomorrow again, we will be back. If there are any questions, I'm willing to take. If there's anything that anyone would like to ask or share, maybe for next 5 minutes.
Sangatji, do we have anybody? Any questions? Anybody wants to interact with Auntie? I think everybody is just in the aura of the reading.
So good. They are absorbing what we shared today about gratitude. So it is important, again, to reiterate. आज आप भी बैठो अपने साथ, gratitude list बनाओ, लिखो क्या क्या गुरुजी ने दिया. बहुत कुछ दिया है, and some can be quantifiable, some cannot be quantifiable. हमें पता भी नहीं होता, गुप्त bless कर देते हमें. And बाकी, to remind ourselves that for a peaceful and happy and meaningful life, it is Gupt Path, Gupt Seva, Gupt Dan. And जैसे गुरुजी ने कहा था, the 3 pillars of faith: सत्संग करो, सिमरन करो और सेवा करो. So that is all for today. Thank you for joining in, and we will connect again.